New here tonight, the pandemic has been tough, especially for those who are struggling with opioid addiction. And tonight, our in-depth reporter Anthony Hill is looking into some of the reasons behind the recent surge in overdoses and what's now being done to stop it.
She was staying with a mutual friend.
It's still very fresh in Danielle Owen's mind.
He came home and found her on the floor in the kitchen and, of course, called 911 immediately.
But then she received the worst news possible.
I got a call within the hour. She had passed
away from a drug overdose. News that would have any friend feeling helpless.
You know, what do I do? Run to her rescue? There was nothing I could do at that point to save her.
And less than a month later, another call.
That was a mere phone call from his mother.
The husband of Danielle's friend who had found his wife dead also overdosed and died.
He had been in treatment in Orlando for about 6 months.
They left behind a little girl. Danielle, unfortunately, has many stories of losing friends to opioid addiction.
Happy New Year!
It may be a new year, but we're still going through the same pandemic. And it turns out that since the pandemic began, more people in the Bay Area are overdosing and dying from opioid addiction. The Florida Department of Health did an investigation on opioid overdoses in our area. They compared 6 months in 2020 with the same 6 months in 2019, and the results are not good. We're experiencing a 35% increase in non-fatal opioid overdoses in the Bay Area. And in most cases, the drug of choice is a synthetic opioid called fentanyl, which is 80 to 100 times stronger than morphine.
So why are we seeing an increase in opioid overdoses in our area? Experts tell me it could have everything to do with the stresses of the pandemic.
People are alone in their homes. They're isolated.
Linda McKinnon is the president and CEO of Central Florida Behavioral Health Network. She says one of the main reasons why people are overdosing is because of the stress and isolation brought on by the pandemic, making the temptation that much harder to self-medicate.
And so that's where we're also seeing more people die because there's no one to recognize that they're overdosing.
Her organization has been doing everything they can to ensure that people struggling with addiction still have resources during the pandemic.
But everything's gone virtual. So now you can attend literally an AA meeting any time of the day, 24/7, happening across the country just by going online.
And though virtual sessions have made getting help more accessible, many people prefer the social element of physically being with other people to support them.
I can't imagine being early in recovery, having to do everything virtually. There's a lack of accountability with everything. I mean, it's a challenging time for everybody right now.
Steven Sundquist from Clean Recovery Centers knows firsthand it's important for resources to be available, especially now.
It's been, childhood friends from high school, people that have been sober for multiple years going back out, relapsing and dying. I mean, no one is exempt.
Another reason why suffering with addiction during this pandemic is so difficult is because of the lack of space in transitional homes due to COVID-19 restrictions.
Well, we have people call every day that we have to just say, we're sorry, we can't help you. And we try to refer them to other agencies, and then they usually say, well, we've already called those agencies and they can't help us either.
Before the pandemic, New Beginnings of Tampa could house over 200 people. Now, they can only hold 150. Dr. Tom Atchison also says the lack of jobs available in the Bay Area during this pandemic is also affecting recovery. People who struggle with addiction do best when they have a schedule to follow, something he tries to provide in his transitional home. There are 3 ways to help you or someone you know with addiction. 1, social activities are extremely important. Continue with recovery support meetings, even if it's virtual. 2, throw away all medications you don't need. This will help minimize temptation. And 3, if you live with someone struggling with drug addiction, always have Narcan on hand. Narcan is a nasal spray that literally reverses an overdose, potentially saving someone's life.
It's okay, we got you.
Experts say having community connections and spreading love is perhaps the most powerful thing you can do.
Showing each other a little bit more compassion and patience, because everybody is struggling with something.
Suffering grows in silence, and everybody knows someone that's struggling with addiction. So let's help that someone today, because that someone might get high tonight for the last time.
If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, help is available. I've posted a link with several local organizations on our website. That's abcactionnews.com. In Tampa, I'm in-depth reporter Anthony Hill, ABC Action News.